Saturday, 7 a.m. only here on GB 99.9, Your Good Vibes. Okay, we're back here. We're back here, mga ka-good vibes. And like what I have promised you earlier, meron tayong special guest for today. And kasama na po natin ngayong umagang ito, without further ado, si Mr. Miles Delfin, ang founder ng Bike Scouts Philippines. I hope that you can hear me, sir. Sir Miles, can you hear me?
Hi,
Oh, hi, hi. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Uh,
good
Well,
morning.
unang-una, maraming salamat sa pagpapaunlak mo sa akin ngayong araw na to. Ngayong umagang to, particular dito sa programang Good Morning Sabado at maibahagi mo or actually maibahagi natin dahil tayo parehong nandito sa organization na to. Kung ano ba ang meron at ano ba ang ang Bike Scouts and what is it about, bike? Bakit ba masyadong ina-ina mo bike ang bike ngayon? Anyway, I'll give the mic, the mic to you right now. You can greet muna kung gusto mo, Sir Miles.
Yep.
Any intro from you.
Oh, first of all, good morning sa listeners ng GB 99.9. Thank you sa program na Good Morning Sabado for having me and the Bike Scouts over on your program this morning. So yeah, very happy to be here. Very happy to be talking about Bike Scouts.
Well, we are also very, very happy and very, very privileged, Sir Miles, na maging guest ka dito at makasama ng umagang ito. And pag-usapan natin walang iba kundi bisikleta.
Yeah.
Well, unang tanong, how long have you been biking, sir?
Well, I've been riding bicycle since I was very small. I think I nagumpisa ako magbike the moment na nagumpisa ako maglakad. I think I have the picture to prove that. So yeah, I've been riding that long. But before nung medyo bata pa ako, I was racing mountain bike, and I think you know this. So kasi
Yeah.
nakapagkarera na rin ako dyan sa Lipa.
Mhm.
I think once or twice. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. But yeah, I used to race, and then I used to join adventure racing. But I used to work in advertising actually. So, but
Wow.
but yung number one love ko talaga is outdoors, adventure, and of course cycling.
Mhm.
So that's why ever since na maliit pa ako, I've been doing that.
Oh, well, actually, pareho pala tayo ng, well, medyo pareho ng konti. Yung ano natin, yung passion natin, yung lifestyle natin. I love outdoors. Nabuhay ako nung bata pa ako, ang laruan ay, tirador, nandun ka sa hubad, nasa puno, and wala naman kasing mall. There's
Yeah,
no chance for us na makapunta sa mga mall. So,
totoo.
yeah, only the privileged ones are entitled to go to the mall. Pero katulad namin, na nawala ay hindi lang sa loob ng bahay, naglalaro ng kung ano man ang pwede paglaruan. And how did you come up with this, idea of, bike scouts, Sir Miles?
Well, Bike Scout started in 2013. So this was on the day na naglandfall ang Typhoon Yolanda sa Philippines. So nanonood ako ng news nung time na yon, and then it just so happened kasi na meron akong maliit na notebook na doon ko sinusulat yung lahat ng mga ideas because my job is in the creative industry. So I continuously have to sort of like come up with ideas, and I have a notebook for that. One of the ideas dun sa notebook na yon, I called it Typhoon Telegrams because typhoon telegrams, kasi yung na-notice ko dito sa atin sa Pilipinas na kapag nagkakaroon ng bagyo and then napipilitan mag-evacuate yung mga tao or naapektuhan sila ng mga typhoons and other disasters, lahat ng tulong natatanggap nila, pagkain, medical support, shelter, tubig, everything. Pero ang isang bagay na wala tayo palagi is yung ability natin to reach out sa mga kamag-anak natin, sa mga mahal sa buhay. Wala tayong paraan para mag-communicate. Basically, pagka nag-evacuate tayo or may nangyaring disaster, pag na-isolate tayo, automatically isolated ka na talaga. Wala kang paraan. So, typhoon telegrams, kasi naisip ko na yung bisikleta, kahit anong condition, kahit anong mangyari, tumatakbo ang bisikleta. So, naisip ko, bakit hindi gamitin yung bisikleta para makapaghatid ng mga messages between evacuation centers or even yung mga communities na isolate ng disasters. So,
Mm-hmm.
doon nag-umpisa yung idea. And then, pero, nung nangyari yung Typhoon Yolanda, naisip ko na masyadong, alam mo yun, masyadong, baka hindi maintindihan yung pangalan na Typhoon Telegrams kapag yun ang ginamit ko. Pero kaya
Yeah.
naisip namin na Bike Scouts para at least mas madali siyang tandaan, mas madali siyang intindihin ng mga tao. Yun yung naging pangalan ng Bike Scouts. So nag-umpisa tayo nung 2013. A few days after Typhoon Yolanda, nag-deploy tayo sa Tacloban City and
Mm-hmm.
then also sa Samar province. And then we stayed there for 4 months. Nag-operate ang Bike Scouts sa 4 months with
Wow.
I think 7 teams. And then we provided yung service natin of providing access to essential supplies like medicine, food and water, and even yung mga tents and even yung mga solar lamps. And then of course yung communication between people and places na isolated by the storm. Tayo yung naging paraan. In fact, karamihan sa mga pangalan na makikita mo ng panahon na yon sa Google Person Finder, kung naalala niyo pa yung Google Person Finder.
Oh yeah. I used to use that.
Karamihan sa mga pangalan at saka yung mga pictures nakita ng mga tao na naghahanap ng kamag-anak nila na hindi nila makontak, ang nag-upload nun ng Bike Scouts. Kasi isa tayo sa unang-unang nagkaroon ng chance na magkaroon ng access to the internet doon time na yon sa Tacloban, even though walang kuryente, walang
communication.
Yeah, walang communication, walang cellphone, walang internet. Kasi ginawa natin is nag-partner tayo with the media company and then pinagamit nila sa atin yung broadcast van nila. So yung TV white space na signal from that van, yun yung paraan natin para makapag-upload sa internet. So yun yung nangyari.
Wow. That's one feat that, honestly speaking, was not recorded, was not televised, was not put in media, but Bike Scouts were working almost 24/7 during that time. Pero hindi kailangan ng recognition, di ba, Sir Miles?
No, hindi naman.
That's what differs Bike Scouts from other group. If I may say so. We do our way, we do our thing, we help people. Although we take pictures every now and then for documentation, but not to brag what we have done for a certain people, for a certain family, mga ka-good vibes. Kasi essentially, ang pagtulong, hindi mo naman kailangan i-broadcast, di ba?
Yeah.
Kung tutulong ka, tumulong ka na lang. Hindi na kailangan, alam mo yung, karamihan kasi nakikita natin ngayon, gusto na magpataas ng likes at saka ng subscription sa YouTube channel nila.
Yeah.
Di ba? Yeah, which is kind of alarming for me kasi parang nagiging negosyo at the same time din yung pagtulong na hindi siya bukal sa loob yung klase ng pagtulong na ginagawa. So kung maiwasan naman nating mag-picture and all, huwag na nating gawin para lang for publicity. That's what differs Bike Scouts from other groups, mga good vibes. And another question, Sir Miles, that I have for you. How many were you when you started it? Kasi ako naman, when I became a member of the Bike Scouts, it was just recently. Pero ilang kayo na nakaisip na nag-umpisa, naging pillars ng Bike Scouts?
Yep. So nung araw na inumpisahan ko yung Bike Scouts, nag-post ako sa Facebook and yung unang-unang tao na nag-respond was, I don't know if you're familiar with him, pero si Coach Andy Leoterio. So he's a coach. Yeah, he's a coach sa triathlon and he's also a businessman. He does a lot of other things. So si Andy yung unang-unang nag-react and he was I think instrumental in getting more people to join Bike Scouts, and he was instrumental also in getting the support of Specialized Bicycles actually. So yung unang-unang ng meeting ng Bike Scouts was on yung second floor ng office ng Specialized Bikes Philippines sa Makati. So gabi yun kasi lahat madalian dahil kailangan na mag-respond, kailangan magbuo ng teams. So within 24 hours we had over 200 members. And then nagpatawag ng meeting, nagkita nga doon sa may Specialized Bikes. And then within another 24 hours we were on a C-130 and then we were on our way to Tacloban, and from there nagumpisa na yung work ng Bike Scouts. Ganun lang siya kasimple.
Well, ganun kasimple pero napakadakila ng ginagawa ng mga Bike Scouts. Well, nakita natin, narinig natin mga good vibes, mga listeners natin, yung pahalagahan ng bisikleta. Kasi, actually, napakaganda ng pangalan kasi kung Bike Scouts, we're using bikes and we're like Boy Scouts, right? We're like Boy Scouts na we're ready for anything. Kung ano man mangyari, kung ano man yung kaharapin natin during that time, o kung sino may nangangailangan ng tulong. So sabi nga nila napaka-witty nung pangalan ng Bike Scouts talaga. It really is meant for this kind of service that what we are doing. And since napakarami na nagbibisikleta ngayon, I'm pretty sure that you have noticed that as well, Sir Miles.
Yep.
Na napakarami na nagbibisikleta. Ako nga dito na lang kanina umaga siguro nakasalubong ko baka may 100 ng siklista na nakasalubong ko. But a year or two ago, yung Sabado na ganito, siguro ilan lang din makakasalubong ko na nagbabike kasi kami-kami din lang halos dito sa Lipa. But today, it's different na napakarami na nagbibisikleta. And I hope that in the future sumali kayo sa Bike Scouts and maging kabahagi ng pagtulong. Sir Miles, ano pa
Yes.
yung pwede natin ma-share as an achievement of the Bike Scouts? First was Yolanda. I know
Yeah.
that you have done so much of your time, spent so much of your energy for this group, Sir Miles. I mean, what are the other achievements that you can share to us para naman marinig ng ating mga listeners kung ano pa ba yung mga nagawa ng Pike Scouts sa Pilipinas. Hindi lang sa Pilipinas, di ba? Kasi
Yeah.
ang members ng Pike Scouts ay international as well.
Yeah, that's true. So actually, what a lot of people don't realize is na since 2013, yung Bike Scouts has been present and have been deployed sa almost lahat ng major natural disasters sa buong Pilipinas. So that includes yung mga bagyo, baha, earthquake, volcanic eruption even. And just because I mentioned yung volcanic eruption, during the time of yung eruption ng Taal volcano, Bike Scouts was the only bicycle messenger service that was in operation around yung area ng na affected by Taal volcano. So yung work natin ng time na yon was to deliver yung critical na mga supplies because alam naman natin meron tayong mga kababayan na may mga sakit sila na alam mo yun, hindi nila pwede ma-miss yung medicine.
Medication.
Yung iba may asthma, so kailangan nila ng yung device para sa treatment ng asthma nila. And so once nung nag-shutdown yung roads because of yung eruption, maraming tao na yung kunyari may mga heart disease, may high blood, and other things na critical na mga medical illnesses. Nawalan sila ng access sa pharmacy, sa mga drugstore. So hindi sila makakuha ng gamot actually, not just food and water and everything else. So yun yung naging trabaho ng Bike Scout. So day and night, nag-deliver tayo ng supply sa mga tao na gano'n. And then, of course, yung mga messages nila to the relatives outside of the danger zone, tayo rin yung naghatid nun. And then marami nag-request, of course, ng yung mga dust mask for yung mga kids, and then yung may sakit ng asthma and everything else. And then, lately, since nag-start yung pandemic, actually, we started to work on our bicycle mobility initiatives around the Philippines, not just in Metro Manila, but around the Philippines. Kasi yung Bike Scouts, nationwide the membership natin, katulad nga ng nabanggit mo. So, ang focus natin actually is outside of the major cities. Kasi marami na nagtatrabaho sa advocacy ng cycling sa mga major cities. Pero actually, for me personally, I think majority of the people who ride bicycles are outside of the city. Like, karamihan sa mga nagtatrabaho, it's not just in factories, but even in offices and government offices and everything else. Everywhere you go around the Philippines, whether town yan or city yan, mga tao nagbibisikleta kasi sa labas ng city, napaka-practical niya actually, saka ang laki ng matitipid mo eh. I mean, I'm based outside of a major city. Right now, I live in San Pedro, pero I used to be, I'm from Cebu. Actually, I'm from the Visayas. So, alam mo yun, I know kung ano yung lifestyle outside of yung mga major cities. Yeah. And kaya, yung activities natin are mostly geared towards yung mga places like that. And ang major success natin actually is that we've been able to establish yung bicycle mobility ordinances at saka yung adoption ng bicycle mobility initiatives. Like for example, in Samar, in Eastern Samar, we managed to establish bicycle mobility na province-wide adoption in record time. I think it was like 2-3 months lang, and then full-scale adoption na siya province-wide. And we're hoping to expand that to other places, other cities and towns around the Philippines that are willing to work with us. Of course, we're working with our team members in Naga City, for example, in Iloilo, in Cebu, and other places. So actually, I'm hoping that maybe in the near future, maybe in Lipa, of course, we can also do something together.
Of course.
And then, yeah, definitely. So yun, basically that's it.
Yeah, actually, that's what we are also trying to work on here, Sir Miles. Although medyo makunat pa ng konti. Palalambutin pa natin. But anyway, of course, we would like that to adopt that kind of bicycle mobility. Kasi talagang dito sa amin, napakarami ng bibisikleta.
That's true.
Every day, any time of the day, any day of the week, dito napakarami ng bibisikleta. Katulad ng Balete, just for example, yung Balete was it's a biker's haven ngayon. Before, nung kami nag-umpisa mag-bike, siguro about 5-10 years ago, each time na bababa kami doon, kami lang yung nakikita eh. And that's usually Sundays. and Saturdays when wala nang trabaho. Pero ngayon, even 7 p.m., 8 p.m. may gumababa doon sa Balete, that's beside the lake of
True.
Taal. Ganun ka late na may mga bumababa pa rin mga bata, nagbabayad ng
Wow.
banda, babae, lalaki. So all walks of life, all male, female, it doesn't matter. Napakarami na ngayon. Kaya nga nakakatuwa na yung bicycle mobility ay napakalaking effect, napakagandang epekto. Kasi katulad ko, since the pandemic started, although yung 100 kilometers para sa atin, it's just a normal ride para sa atin, di ba? Since the pandemic started, hindi na ako sumasakay ng bus papuntang Quezon City. I always take my bike going to Quezon City from Lipa. Madalas ako dumadaan dyan San Pedro. Kaso nga lang, every time nadadaan ako dyan, sabi ko, hindi ko Sir Miles. The next time, probably next week after my program, padyak ulit ako, then hopefully I can, I can meet you there.
Sure.
Get
Yeah.
a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
Pagpunta ko doon. So, well, anyway, napakadakila ng mga ginagawa ng Bike Scouts. And napakarami na rin ng partnership na ginawa ng Bike Scouts, di ba, Sir Miles? And not just local partnership. If you want to share whatever whoever partners that we have in and out the country, please do, Sir Miles.
Yeah, sure. Before I get to that, actually, I just wanted to share as well. I actually also ride through. I always pass by Lipa actually when I ride my bike. Like when I go around Taal Lake, and even nung Taal volcano eruption when we did deliveries sa Alitagtag. Of course, yun yung pinaka most practical way to get to that area, which is through Lipa. And then the other thing is that Lipa is actually a hub for a lot of tourist destinations. Even in the city itself, I know you have like a lot of churches. And then you have access to, like yung sinabi mo, Balete, and of course, yung area ng Makulot and other places, San Juan and other areas. So parang if there will be an adoption of bicycle mobility, not just actually for parang commuting, but also even tourism related, I think it will provide economic and other benefits for the city of Lipa. And would be very, very happy to work with the city of Lipa, with the community organizations, with local businesses even, if they're willing to make that happen. So in terms of yung partnerships naman natin, we've worked with a lot of organizations. So we are partnered, of course, with UN OCHA through the community of practice on community engagement. So during mga disasters ay tumutulong para mag-gather ng data and information for yung mga reports ng UN OCHA so that the United Nations can use for yung mga response planning nila and everything else. And then we are a member of international organizations for disaster. So we take this seriously. It's not just something now we say now we do disaster response. We're actually a part of several organizations internationally. And then we're of course partnered for bicycle mobility and other things with the embassies of the Netherlands and Denmark. And they've been very instrumental. And this is one thing that we can bring to the table kapag yung city of Lipa decides to work with the Bike Scouts is that we can offer real technical assistance in terms of yung implementation rollout ng bicycle mobility, not just ordinance, but even urban planning, design of the infrastructure and everything else. We, through the embassies of the Netherlands and Denmark, we partnered with companies like Ramboll, for example, in Europe. These are people who do engineering and architecture and design for cities. And their focus is, one of their focus is about bicycle mobility and pedestrianization of cities and towns. So these are things that we can bring to the table if for example, City of Lipa decides to work with Bike Scouts, among other things. And of course, we're partnered as well with Smart City. Smart City is founded by a Filipina, si Chris Libunao, who is actually from Lipa, I think. I think she's from Lipa. So yeah. But she's based in San Francisco right now. But she has an office as well in Quezon City. We actually had our first meeting in UP Diliman. And then Smart City and Chris are focused naman on Smart City solutions. So that's in partnership with our bicycle mobility initiatives as well. Because eventually when you do have, for example, countrywide adoption of bicycle mobility, you need a way to govern that. You need a way for people to be able to get in touch with your government and even your community and talk to each other about how to sustain that, about how to improve that. And you can't just do that with yung mga ordinary na mga meetings that we used to, matanda na tayo. Matanda na ako. So that's how we used to do it. We would call for a meeting and people would show up and then we would talk about, but that's very inefficient because now we have this, we're talking on Zoom right now. And we can do it that way. And with smart city solutions, you can do it with a lot of other ways. Like in data collection mo, could be coming from a light bulb, could be counting yung traffic doon sa intersection and informing the
Yeah.
government about how
That's
to
true.
manage traffic better, so on and so forth.
Yep.
So,
Well, that's true. That's true, Sir Miles. Kasi hindi mo pwede yung ano eh. Tsaka ano technology is there. I mean, a lot of things that we can incorporate na mga bagay na yung mga lumang gawain na meeting was uh, ano na yun eh. Kumbaga sabi nila Jurassic na daw. Pero let's try to use and maximize yung technology na meron tayo. Kasi sa totoo lang talagang siguro yung bike it will never decrease. It will increase in the following days. Yung mga bikers at
I
yung mga
agree.
bikes na meron tayo sa kalsada. So the plan for bicycle mobility is dapat it's really inevitable and it's really important na magkameron tayo ng mga plano sa bawat bayan na merong siklista. Kahit siguro wala siklista, di ba? Pero meron bang bayan wala siklista sa panahon ngayon?
I think wala eh. If I can add something to what you said about yung value ng bicycles, it's not, a lot of times people don't realize yung connection ng bicycles with technology like mobile phones, for example. Kasi parang inisip natin yung bisikleta, ano ito eh, lumang technology, tapos yung mobile phone is modern technology, so 21st century siya na device. But in reality, like sa maraming places sa Philippines, yung mga, like yung kids na nag-aaral, like for online learning, naghahanap sila ng signal. So that's a common problem, di ba? So for them to be able to do that, how do they get to the places na meron ngang signal? So a lot of times actually, mga kids na to, they use a bicycle to find an area where they can connect yung phone nila with their school and do online learning. And one of the things that we've done actually to support that is through partnership with the Philippine Business for Social Progress, PBSP, and of course Standard Chartered Bank, who are donating bicycles to different schools na medyo isolated around the Philippines. And Bike Scouts is the one that's helping them implement that.
Wow, a lot of achievements, Sir Miles, that you're discussing right now. At nakakatuwa naman. Talagang napakalaking tulong ng simpleng bisikleta. Whether you're a member or not of Bike Scouts, mga good vibes, nakikita natin yung epekto, magandang epekto ng pagbibisikleta. It's bringing you from point A to point B na unang-una wala kang gastos. Katulad niya, ako, going to Manila, going to Quezon City, nakabisikleta lang, hindi na ako umaasa sa public transport kasi unang-una napakahirap. Pangalawa, kukonti yung bumibiyahe and you're in an enclosed place kung saan hindi mo na makakilala yung mga kasama mo. And with this kind of pandemic that we have from COVID-19 na nandito pa rin, na meron pa rin tayo, ay napakahirap sabihin, mga good vibes. So it would be better for me to, it's always better for me to go biking going to Manila. Malapit lang naman yun eh. 100 kilometro lang yun, kulang-kulang. Yung distansya niyan ay normal na ride lang para sa amin ni Sir Miles who have done thousands of kilometers sa mga bisikleta. And nakakatuwa sa Bike Scouts, if I may share, is may maraming mga bagay na ginagawa kami, well, I will include myself, na natulong na hindi na kailangan sabihin, ipagsabi, or i-publish. We just do it out of the blue, tumulong, and that's it. That's how simple it is. Sa mga listeners natin, we have a group chat, right, Sir Miles? And nakakatuwa doon. Just like a few days ago, when one of our members asked for help, and he is not in the same city. Nasa Manila yung humingi ng tulong, nasa ibang probinsya yung hinihingian niya yung humingi ng tulong. And he posted it sa group chat and ikaw na yung magkwento, Sir Miles.
Well, that's the benefit of having a nationwide community sa Bike Scouts because we're not a club. A lot of people think that we're a club, but we're not. We're a network of support. We are different people, different individuals, different teams and groups around the Philippines. If you're a cycling club, you can join Bike Scouts as a club. So this is the benefit. So having that network of support around the Philippines, you automatically have access to a lot more friends. Para siyang Instagram and Facebook, but for a good cause. Parang ganun ang Bike Scouts. So what happened in your story actually was that in Eastern Samar, in a small town, somebody's child got sick. So kailangan nila ng immediate na tulong to find out kung ano yung problem with the child kasi nga they were very worried. And in addition, of course, they were worried na baka ma-isolate to yung bata kasi nga nilalagnat yata. And so being in a small town and then middle of the night, wala kang paraan to reach out and ask for help. But with the support of yung Bike Scouts community, um, within I think 10-15 minutes,
Yep.
the community was able to organize itself and then find a doctor, find even a ride probably, and other things that was needed to help yung family na yun and yung child.
Mhm.
And this is something that happens every day, not just on special occasions of Bike Scouts community. And you know this because you're part of the
Yep.
group chat and the group page. Um, so even simple things like kunyari, medyo masama yung weather sa Batanes, tayo sa Bike Scouts, we know that immediately. Like within a
Yeah.
second, we would know. If magkaroon ng maliit na baha or even sometimes may nawawala ng aso sa Sorsogon or somewhere else, we would know. And then we would able to organize ourselves and be able to help in some way doing that. Like pag may
Yep.
nag-ride ng malayo, if they pass through your town and the Bike Scouts hear about it, they would offer you
Something.
food and even accommodation. I mean, I'm not promoting that as a service. It's not a service. It's done by the community members themselves out of the goodness of their hearts. Pero that's the benefit of being part of a collaborative community nationwide. And of course, there's a price to that. And wala na, I'm not saying na may bayad sa Bike Scouts. Bike Scouts is absolutely free. Pero ang price na kapalit niyan is that you help, you participate. And not just for the Bike Scouts. If you want to do it by yourself, you can do it in your own neighborhood. You can do it on a larger scale if you want. If you're working with government, do that in government. So do something good every day. That's the thing that you do as a Bike Scout.
Yep. Well, that's the essence of being a Boy Scouts. But anyway, just hold on to that, Sir Miles. We'll just pause for a quick break, okay?
Okay.
Mga good vibes. I know it's a very interesting thing that we're talking about right now, but hold your horses. Don't touch that dial, mga good vibes. And we'll pause for a quick break.
Bring out the best in your coffee with Coffee Mate. Now in a 9-gram sachet. Sakto kada timpla. May creamy goodness na bumabalik sa bibig. From the first sip to the last drop. Experience the creaminess of Coffee Mate 9 grams today.
Bring out the best in your coffee. Coffee Mate. Yan ang lakas ng Pinoy. Lakas ng record speed. Lakas ng tama, pero di wasak. Ganyan extra strong.
Red Horse Beer sa inyong mga suking tindahan. Lakas ng tama, pero hindi wasak. Quick response.
Personalize your store's plastic cups, paper cups, and paper bowls with your own design and logo. Q-Bunch Multi-Supply and Printing Solutions, the first, the original, and the leading cup printing service in the province of Pampanga. Direct printer manufacturer of personalized plastic cups.
Morning Sabado, nandito pa rin tayo. Kasama natin si Mr. Miles Delfin, ang founder ng Bike Scouts Philippines. Bago tayo magpatuloy, bati lang po muna natin yung mga usual mga texters natin. Good morning. At good morning daw dyan sa Barangay Marawi na nakikinig ngayon. At your program is very informative, Mr. DJ, and I think I would like to start riding my bike right now. Okay, wow. So anyway, yeah. We heard that, Sir Miles, from our
That's very
texter.
good.
Yeah, that's very good. Nakakatuwa na marami tayong na-influensyahan sa ating ginagawa. Katulad namin, I mean, when I start, nung mag-umpisa ako mag-bike, it was, I was grade 2 nung matuto ako mag-bike. And ayaw pang palabasin sa kalsada ng mga lolo't lola kasi baka daw madisgrasya, masabitan ng sasakyan. Which is, wala kasing wala namang facilities for biking during those days. I'm talking about the 90s and 80s, guys. So, talagang it's the olden days na nung ako'y naunang matuto mag-bike, and then later on, when I first acquired my mountain bike, that was 2002, kung doon nagkakamali. And kaya lang ako nagkaroon ng bisikleta kasi dati I was on the gym. Nagtuturo ako, umakit ako ng bundok. I'm an outdoor person as well, like our guest Sir Miles. Delphin ay isang outdoor person. So ako ay, well, unfortunately, nagkasakit before and gusto ko ibalik yung ano ko yung lakas ng katawan ko, and then I started biking. Kasi ang sport ko dati was volleyball. And ang problema sa volleyball, you need, six of you need to be a team. Kailangan mo ng 6 na kalaban, kailangan mo ng volleyball court para maglaro. So kailangan mo ng napakaraming tao para maglaro eh. Parang sabi ko parang hindi na yata po pwede kasi nung aking college, if I, I just want to share to you, Sir Miles, as well, that I have been playing volleyball for what, 10 years, simula ng high school hanggang college, naglalaro ko na after college. And then magkasakit nga ako, sabi ko parang hindi ko na kaya volleyball dahil ang hirap, ang dami ng taong abalahin mo eh. That's when I started to love bike. And it gave me freedom from going to point A to point B na wala kang pamasahe, hindi ka nakasakay sa jeep or kotse or motor, and it's powered by you. Ang power nito ay nanggagaling sa atin eh. So yun yung parang dati nararating ko lang to ng nakasasakyan, ngayon nararating ko lang nakabike. So nag-iba yung pagtingin ko sa distansya eh. I'm pretty sure it applies as well to you, Sir Miles. Na pag sinabing 10 kilometers yung layo, ano lang yan, siguro mga 30-35 minutes andun na ako pag nakabike kasi kabisado yung lugar, di ba? So, yung kagandahan ng bisikleta eh, na isa sa masasabi ko. Kaya kung sino man sa ating mga listeners ngayong umaga ito, nakikinig, nagbabalak or biker na, ipagpatuloy niya yan. At napakagandang simulain ng pagbabike. It doesn't just help you physically, but it helps us in a lot of ways. Kasi one less car from the road and one more bike on the road is better, I believe. Well, that's just me speaking. Kasi I love bike more than, the car itself. Well, which is true. Anyway, any tips, Sir Miles? Ito naman, medyo natin konti, itong mga biker natin na baguhan. Kasi yesterday, I posted something on a group chat about an accident that happened for a young biker. Na unfortunately, binuwi ng buhay dahil sumalpok sa poste. Pababa yata ng galing Tagaytay, yung nagkakamali. So, it was a self-accident. So, but anyway, Sir Miles, any tips that you can share coming from your experience as a seasoned cyclist from way back before, katulad ko. So, any tips that you can share sa mga baguhang cyclists natin?
Yeah. I think the most important advice na we can give people who are both just starting out sa cycling and then even yung katulad natin na medyo matagal na nagbabike is na to always remember na safety is the most important thing. So kapag nagbabike ka kasi you can, like for example tayo, nagma-mountain bike tayo. On the way to the trail, it doesn't make any sense to parang put yourself at risk while habang nagbabike ka sa road. You have to realize na you're sharing the road with other people, which are pedestrians, and then of course with motor vehicles as well. So it's just good practice na kapag nagbabike tayo sa mga daanan, sundin natin yung batas trapiko, yung traffic regulations ng lahat ng places na dinadaan natin. And then of course, one of the most basic things na people tend to forget kapag nagbabike sila sa mga roads in traffic is na wala tayong signal light. And then mahirap ma-predict. Coming from I've stopped driving for like 10 years now. Ever since I started Bike Scouts, I've committed myself to cycle. I'm not asking anyone to do that, but that's just me. Pero when you ride a bike, coming from the perspective of a motorist, mahirap ma-predict yung movement mo. So if you move, whenever we move yung handlebars natin, yung nagda-drive ng sasakyan or even ng motor, they think we're going to go somewhere. So nagpapanik din sila and they don't have a lot of time to react. So this is why kapag nagbabike ka sa daanan, kunyari pupunta ka lang ng coffee shop or pupunta ka ng convenience store or even sa simbahan or sa school. Pag nagbabike ka, as much as possible, we try to ride in a straight line. So wag yung masyadong maraming movement yung handlebar para hindi magpanic yung mga tao at saka yung mga motorists around us. So ma-predict nila yung movement natin. We try to ride in a straight line. But when you get to an intersection or to a corner, it's always best to stop first. Slow down and then stop and then look around you kung safe before you make a turn or you cross the street or the intersection. And then of course, whenever you do have to move your bike from left to right or if you have to cross the street or something, make sure that you check yung rear, you check your side na merong traffic, and then you make hand signals. So hand signals is very important because that's the only way for us to let others know now we're about to do something with the bike, that we're about to turn left or right or even to stop. So
Yeah.
those are the most basic things. I mean, anyone, beginner or even yung mga veteran na it doesn't matter if you're going somewhere far or pupunta ka lang ng tindahan. These are the most basic things na you can do to protect yourself and others as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Sir Miles. Kasi nga, ako nagmamaneho din. So, I know how it feels. Nandun ka sa likod ng manibela ng sasakyan, ng auto. Ang hirap eh. Minsan kasi, ang hirap talaga i-predict. Lalo na yung mga medyo bago. Ito, sasabihin ko na, yung mga baguhan ng mga bikers. Yung mga bata, masyado agresibo. At remember, you don't own the road. Okay? Pare-parehong privilege yung ginagamit natin para tayo ay makapagmaneho sa kalsada. Even us na merong lisensya ay pribilehiyo po ang pagmamaneho. Tandaan po natin yan. Pati na rin pagsakay sa bisikleta. Karamihan, meron ako nakikita din ng mga nagka-counterflow ng mga cyclists. And there are some cyclists na basta na lang dumidiretso sa mga stoplight, hindi naiiwasan yun eh. Well, naiiwasan pala yan, actually. Pero maraming hindi sumusunod din. Kung maaari, if it's a stop, then or the traffic enforcer tells you to stop, then stop. Napakasimple lang naman sumunod. Ano ba naman yung 2-3 segundo ng buhay mo na ititigil mo doon sa stoplight? Hindi naman karera yung ginagawa mo. And there are proper course for races. So, huwag natin gawing karerahan yung kalsada. Gaya ng sinabi ni Sir Miles, kailangan maging predictable tayo dun sa mga ibang gumagamit na kalsada. Kasi kapag hindi, remember, pag tayo nabangga, wala tayong pwedeng panlaban kundi katawan natin. We are not protected with anything. Kahit may helmet tayo mabangga tayo. What if, other parts of our body which are greatly exposed, yun na mabangga. So, di ba? Tandaan natin na wala na po protect sa atin. Yung helmet natin, yes, it's a protection. It's a form of protection. However, it's not an absolute protection for our entire body. Katulad na lang nangyari kahapon. Hindi ko na po nabalita ba to on national TV or kasi nakita ko nga lang sa FB when I shared it. Actually, nakita ko yung helmet. Parang buo pa yung helmet eh. So it was not a crash na involved yung ulo, pero yung katawan. Imagine bumangga ka sa poste, yung katawan mo, yung ibabangga mo. So yun yung nangyari doon sa bata. And the kid was just 18 years old.
That's
and he was too young, to pass away for a tragic accident sa bisikleta. Kasi siguro sobrang bilis ng takbo. Actually, ito totoo to. Malamang ang nangyari, sobrang bilis ng takbo. Hindi na control, nagpanic, bumangga, and nangyari yung hindi inaasahan. Kasi if you're not that fast, kung bumangga ka man, hindi ganun yung damage na matatamo ng isang tao.
Yeah.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, pero yun yung katotohanan na maaaring nangyari doon. Na talaga mabilis yung dating. Kaya siya, nung bumangga siya, yun yung nangyari. Unfortunately, nakakatakot. Actually, napakarami yung mga kabataan ngayon masyado agresibo. And ito pa nakakatawa minsan. Or nakakainis on our part. Kasi tayo, di ba usually, Sir Miles, when we're on the road, pag may lumabas sa atin, we wave, and then we say good morning, good afternoon, whatever. Itong mga baguhan, ng mga bata, na nag-umpisang bisikleta, kapag nalampasan mo sila, feeling nila kinakarera mo sila. Yeah, so please, huwag natin isipin na ganun, na kinakarera din, kakarerahin kanila, kasi it may cause accident that will lead to, to damages na maaaring hindi na natin ibabalik, mga good vibes. So iwasan po natin, maging disiplinado po tayo. Ito, madalas kong binabanggit dito sa programa is two things that I always I say, discipline and respect.
That's true. Actually, one of the things that I'd like to add is na we're still in the process of building kasi yung local natin na cycling culture.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, in the Netherlands and in Denmark, these are two countries that are most successful when it comes to bicycle mobility. So it's not really because na matindi yung batas nila. It's not about laws. It's not about regulations. They do have very good infrastructure, but that's just a supporting thing. It helps make yung safe bicycle mobility happen. Pero I think what happened in the Netherlands and in Denmark is yung cycling culture nila na nobody even thinks of doing something dangerous. So I think it's a community thing. It's a whole of community thing. It's a community culture that we have to develop. Na you're right. Na like ako marami ako nakasabay din ng mga kids. Ako rin kids nung kid pa ako. We started riding BMX, and even ako at that time medyo aggressive din ako mag-ride. Pero fortunately for us, ng time na yun, hindi pa ganun kadami sasakyan sa mga
Yeah.
kung saan tayo nakatira. So, swerte lang yun. Pero now, you can't really do that kasi kahit saan ka pumunta, marami na sasakyan. So, yeah, it's understandable that kids are very energetic. They're very excited about, especially kapag first time nila magkaroon ng magandang bike. They really want to show it off. So, that's what happens. And I think I will give this back to people like us na medyo may edad na medyo marami na ring experience. And we are in a position to set the culture for
Mhm.
for our clubs, for our community, even for the kids who ride bikes who know us na sometimes kasi you don't realize it pero kapag ikaw yung matagal na nagbabike sa community mo, the kids look up to you. Especially kapag dati kumakarera ka or marami kang mga adventures na ginagawa. They actually start to ride bikes because they've heard about what you've done. So you're basically an example to them. So I think what we can do bilang I'm going to speak for myself lang na bilang mas nakakatanda. Alam mo yun, we are in a position to set the example and to help set the culture na yung mga kids na if you want to be competitive, if you want to ride fast, you can train and join races, and there's a proper way to do that. Kasi kung gusto maging professional na racer sa cycling, you actually have to keep yourself safe sa normal
Yeah.
situation so that you can join the races. Kasi if you injure yourself in something na alam mo yun, walang sense, like for example na natamaan ka ng tricycle and then natumba ka and then napilay ka, hindi ka na makakapag-race. You'll
Yeah,
never be a
papaprotect ka rin.
professional racer, di ba? You'll never get a sponsor so that you can ride your bike. And alam mo yun, so for you to do that, you have to realize, and with the guidance of the older people in the community who ride bicycles also, the kids will slowly realize now for them to achieve their dreams of going fast, first they have to go slow.
Oh, that, well said, Sir Miles. And well, naalala ko yung sinabi mo na if kung dati kang kumakarera or matanda ka na quoting ko, siguro experience. yung
Yeah.
the term would be experience. The kids look up to you and parang sineset as an example. Actually, yun yan, when I posted about 2 weeks ago, I believe when I gave a Bike 101 discussion with the younger generations dito sa dati kong barangay na tinitiran, nagulat ako dahil bakit naman ako sa dami ng cyclista na pwede nilang tawagan or kausapin, bakit ako nagulat ako? Kasi ako lang yung coming from that barangay, ako lang yung naging parang isa sa medyo naging kilala when it comes to cycling. Kaya siguro ganun. Kasi nga kumakarero din ako before
Yeah.
and later on, organizing na yung ginagawa. And eto nga, Bike Scouts, of course. So it's a lot different today than before na ensayo for karera. Then, well, actually, doon tayo nag-meet personally sa karera dito sa Lipa when you joined the 12-hour race during those days na we were still active sa mga karera. Anyway, we've got a text here. It's sabi dito, it's good to know that there are people like you, Bike Scouts, na we know we can count on, especially because we are worried about the volcano. So I guess the text came from one of the residents that's near the Taal volcano vicinity. So well, nakakatuwa naman na mayroong mga ganito mga text tayo natatanggap na na-appreciate nila yung trabaho ng Bike Scouts. Even if we work silently, mga ka-good vibes.
Yeah.
We deliver.
I'd like to say thank you to whoever texted that message, because the Bike Scouts we're never in the news. We never get mentioned for the stuff that we do, but that's the reward actually. Having people in the communities appreciate what we do, and no matter what happens, like for example, I hope there's never another eruption again of the Al volcano, but if it does happen, they can rest assured that Bike Scouts will be riding, Bike Scouts will be operating. Even if you don't see us, we are there, we are riding.
We will be there. Mga good vibes. No publicity, just pure help and passion sa ginagawa namin, mga good vibes. So yan ang Bike Scouts. So what are you waiting for? Well, you can search Bike Scouts on Facebook, and well, you can see the works that we have done. It's posted on the social media. I'm not familiar with all the social media platforms that where Bike Scouts is. Sir Miles, if you can give us all those information for our listeners, please.
Sure. So I'd like to invite everyone in Lipa and all the other places na nararating ng GB 99.9. Please join Bike Scouts on Facebook. You can just search the Bicycle Scouts Project. We have a page and we have a group page. Yung page namin, we just share content there. If you want to join the community conversation, sign up for the group page on Facebook, which is the Bicycle Scouts Project. And then you can also visit our website, which is bikescouts.org. So doon sa bikescouts.org, that's where you'll see most of the videos and the pictures and the history of the Bike Scouts. And there are some other things there that you can also join in, like yung interactive map natin where you can post pictures. It's free, absolutely free for everyone. So go to bikescouts.org.
Okay, and I believe we have an application as well that's going to be launched anytime soon.
Yes. We're working on a platform because we love being on Facebook. We started on Facebook, but increasingly kasi Facebook is getting very noisy and then sobrang daming distractions, and because of the kind of work that we do, we need our own platform na kung saan makapag-concentrate yung community natin in doing the work that we have to do. I mean, it's okay if we're just sharing fun pictures of our bicycle rides and everything. The Facebook is perfect for that. Instagram is perfect for that. But for the more serious work that we do, like disaster response, and then if somebody asks for help middle of the night, sometimes mahirap sa Facebook kasi sobrang maingay na yung platform na yan. So,
Yeah.
and there are it doesn't offer us a lot of the tools that we need actually to do our work, like for disaster monitoring. Kasi we track typhoons and floods and other things through the community, so in real time. And right now, that's kind of hard to do with Facebook. So that's why we're building our own app. And it's taking some time because for the past 8 years that we've operated, Bike Scouts has never had any funding. So we're out of pocket. We're community funded, and so we're doing our best. But it will be there very soon. So watch out for that. We'll be making the announcement on bikescouts.org as well.
Okay, there we go. Well said, Sir Miles Delphin. Maraming salamat at sa pagpapaunlak mo ngayong umagang ito sa amin, at pagbibigay ng oras para maibahagi kung ano ba ang Bike Scouts at ano ba ginagawa ng Bike Scouts. Actually, pahabol pa dito eh. May theme song ba daw ang Bike Scouts? I don't know if there is.
Well, maraming talented ng mga Filipinos sa music. So if you have talent and if you're willing to work with us, then maybe we can make one.
Yeah. Who knows? Na kayo pala hinihintay ng Bike Scouts para magkameron tayong theme song. Para may opening and closing theme song of Bike Scouts whenever and wherever we are going. Anyway, any last words, Sir Miles, before unfortunately we end our conversation for today because our program only went from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m.
Yeah. So in closing, I guess I just want to say thank you to you and thank you to your program, Good Morning Sabado, and to the listeners of GB 99.9 for having Bike Scouts today. I hope you consider joining us. Please sign up through Facebook and then visit our website, bikescouts.org. So I hope to see you all there. And let's be a worldwide community, actually, because Bike Scouts is not just nationwide. I think right now we're in 19 other countries worldwide. So driven by Filipinos mostly.
Indeed. And I'm looking at all those flags that we have. Marami-rami to. It's worldwide. Bike Scouts, it's not just concentrated in sa Pilipinas, mga good vibes. Okay, but anyway, maraming salamat, Sir Miles, and it's very inspiring para sa lahat. Siguro yung narinig ninyo mula sa founder ng Bike Scouts Philippines. Hopefully we can you can join us again some other time, Sir Miles, for other things that we can talk about. Not just bikes, I guess. Maraming bagay tayong pwede pag-usapan. So pwede din naman. Anyway, well, with that said, mga good vibes, palakpakan natin ang ating guest ngayong umagang ito at maraming salamat, Sir Miles. Okay, so there we go. That was Mr. Miles Delphin of Bike Scouts Philippines, mga good vibes, and unfortunately we have to end our program any moment now, and we'll be back on next Saturday. That will be March 6. Wow, isang araw na lang bukas ang Pebrero at matatapos na at tayo ay lilipat na ng Marso, mga good vibes, and Well, anyway, maraming salamat sa pagsama sa amin ngayong umagang po sa pakikinig. At muli, ito ang inyong lingkod, si Andres III ng programang Good Morning Sabado. Dito lang sa GV 99.9, Your Good Vibes.